Let's load into this first map then. Lijiang Tower, we'll see where the rounds take us. Checkmate 2. God, he was a tank player way back when, right? A little bit of a substitution, now back on the old DPS, thankfully. The guy's an absolute beast. Let's load in. First map, Lijiang Tower. Let's hear some noise, Riyadh. AlQadsiah versus Twisted Minds.
Of course, the signature D.Va, very fast composition, and Landon will lean more into the Kiriko. That Kitsune rush just adds a whole new layer of aggression when AlQadsiah truly want to go in. And the full, just how they've kind of reinvented the Symmetra style has been amazing. KSA thinking about the Mauga just to collapse, now floating to different. I'm expecting the Orisa, but it's the KSA Zarya to counter the D.Va.
This is spicy from KSA. Of course, it is a battle of the Sims, it always will be. Very defensive, though, from AlQadsiah running this Mei. KSA is going to have, yeah, this is going to be an instant swap, surely. Good first fight here from AlQadsiah. That Mei surprising Twisted Minds out of the gate. Point unlocks, there's a free cap for AQ.
Such a good Mei wall from Labda, but Twisted Minds broke it down, but the Zarya only has so many bubbles at this point of the game. KSA is going to be using it all for himself. So I don't think you want to fight server against the Mei from Labda. Twisted Minds going to go into more open area.
This is risky from KSA. Yeah, you're exactly right. You have to fight on this point. A free flip, though, coming in for Twisted Minds. AlQadsiah just not reacting. Teleporter there onto server to try and force Quarks to reposition, but he doesn't have any fear in his eyes. KSA laser beams down Landon. They've actually lost mech as well of AlQadsiah. Quarks, though, ends up just primary firing Labda down after that ice block was popped pretty early. Those Twisted Minds continue their point cap. Ziad killed in Baby D.Va. And that point flip from Twisted Minds there, right underneath the noses of AlQadsiah, that cannot happen.
Yeah, and they gave up server as well. Like, AlQadsiah could have just let them go into the middle and surround them, but just didn't know how to react until it was too late. Maybe a checkmate flank with the teleport would have been great, but Kitsune rush from Landon. This will be a boon for AlQadsiah.
Sound barrier for Funny Astro goes pretty low. Has to be safe. Simple also pretty damn low. Landon, though, is going to push everybody forward now with this rush. Sound barriers on both sides. Simple 5% away from his own. KSA first to fall, though. That wall just decimating the Zarya. The longevity in these fights is just not there for the Zarya. As soon as you use those bubbles, it can be so easy to force out as well.
I get to defend with this Mei and with the Blizzard too, and wondering where AlQadsiah are going to want to hold this. They could just try to go back to the server side, but what is going to be the AlQadsiah reaction if Twisted Minds just go to the point? Would have liked AlQadsiah to play at this front choke point, but maybe they're wary about the grab.
Couple of dinks there coming in from Labda. Ends up killing Quartz really early on. Yeah, this is it. This is the worst choke point to push into against the Mei and the Sim. A free TP back to the point, and you're safe if you're caught off guard. Just quickly killing the turrets, though, and there's another pick. Astro down.
You don't even need to see the Labda Quartz Sojourn showdown when Labda has these icicles like that. And now they just get a free fight win. Seconds gone away. Free teleport out potentially to help Ziad, but he has to be front and center to deny the grab.
Let's give it Landon enough time to build up some other walls to this Kitsune rush. There's a wall on the high ground. It's going to be another one here for AlQadsiah. Rush still available. No one's going to go down just yet. Fighting through these walls, waiting for the cooldowns to wear off. Now both rushes are laid on to the points. A nice little flank here from UB is just going to laser Ziad in the back of the face, but, well, that Graviton Surge connected, and it connected with the right targets as well. UB kills 2 with a charged up beam. Kellex takes a headshot from the high ground as Quads. Oh, he's so good. We talked about him having a life game throughout this tournament, and this continues to be one, it feels like.
This will help Twisted Minds catch up in the score, and Labda's still going to stick to the Mei. Quartz and UB combine their forces and synergize so well off the grab, but front and center is Twisted Minds looking for the Mei wall. Labda does isolate KSA.
Nice sound barrier though. KSA now trying to find Zarya to beam down. Both beats expended now, and Ziad's in a little bit of trouble. In server, uses thrusters to get away, but overtime approaches.
Yeah, this will be the lead for Twisted Minds. No ults to really play off of. It's all going to be a vanilla fight, and Checkmate gets rid of the TP, places his down a little forward. Could have been better, but server control goes to AlQadsiah.
Early block there from Labda. Can't afford to be over-aggressive now, but Lander is super low as well on the side of AlQadsiah, playing a little bit safe, but safe enough to help the frontline push from AlQadsiah. Funny Astro trying to get away, but those icicles, oh, they're feeling them now. Labda's accuracy on these right clicks has just been so frustrating for Twisted Minds to deal with, and this wall causing some staggers too, forcing KSA to jump to the ball, but Ziad is there to try and match. Luckily though, KSA does bowl through the team, but killed before he can touch. It's going to be a final attempt here from Funny Astro, but a boop is awaiting him as the first round is over to AlQadsiah.
That could have gone either way, 100-99. That'll give you a hint on how this series will go. Of course, it was Twisted Minds that got the last laugh in that Saudi E-League Grand Final. Labda was so good on these May walls too, just at the front door. And especially Ziad identifying when KSA was out of bubbles, killing KSA, sent the forces of Twisted Minds reeling and away from the point. And the reads to know when that Hammond was coming to touch. AlQadsiah really impressing in that first round.
Wow, Simple got kind of rolled there as well, but those turrets slowing him down. That's a frustrating way to end it. Twisted Minds happy to stick with the comp though. They're still playing this Zarya, but AlQadsiah, they're pulling out all the stops here. I love the Mei on Lijiang Tower. You just command such presence on the point, and attacking into it, especially with Zarya or Sim, it's tough. The TP can be used to kind of escape, but you get walled off, you're toast.
This is one of the weaker rounds, though, when it comes to Mei, especially where this fight is trying to take place within that open area, but now it's not letting a route to escape. AlQadsiah push Twisted Minds against the wall.
Yeah, and you can wall off that white room as well, and that's exactly what Labda did. Even a fraction of a second of that wall coming up, stopping the healing coming through, is really just life or death for the player trapped on the other side. A cap for AlQadsiah, but it's not over just yet, as Quartz is still shooting away. Does find the pick onto Kellex, of course, but a remake here from Ziad is going to be good for pressure in the front line. A wall there, not quite so perfectly placed by Labda, but enough to kind of split the forces of Twisted Minds, and a right click onto Quartz is good for one. Sound barrier comes in for Kellex to try and secure this fight, and now the rush, the road has been laid forward for Simple, and the rest of his team actually follow with this. Zarya, though, on the road, and oh boy, that's a lot of charge, and that's a lot of damage coming through from KSA. Almost a grab earned as Twisted Minds get a flip.
Simple picking Landon was everything. AlQadsiah were not going to survive that fight without the healing and without the Kitsune rush, but maybe they can go for a guaranteed swing. Do they want to hit this head on? No, to the right side of the point, trying to trigger the flip in their favor, but KSA has a grab, and there's no barrier to respond.
Quartz finds the first pick. The wall ends up coming out to try and sustain through the fight, but the wall is already waning by the looks of it. Everybody just firing into it currently as this Graviton Surge looking to be placed by the side of Ziad. He's already lost his mech, so this would be a free one if they choose to use it, but they might just want to go for this free fight. Checkmate Landon down. Ziad throws himself off the map, knowing the fight is done, and Twisted Minds hold on to two massive ults.
Such a huge wall from UB2, force AlQadsiah just to be so awkward, and now Twisted Minds gonna try and farm up some more ultimates, and you were able to conserve the grab if you're KSA. You have more sustain with the funny Astro barrier, so this is Twisted Minds that could go all the way if AlQadsiah are not careful.
DP behind, still looking for this Blizzard. Wall ends up coming up, but the sound barrier preempted from Funny Astro. Twisted Minds have been playing so much more aggressive, so much quicker this tournament, but maybe a little bit too fast. Graviton Surge does land though, but the TP away. Ziad is good for the time being, but has to use that self-destruct to go for the remake. Couple of right clicks from KSA thrown into the dojo, but the remake was successful.
The ults were nullified, but this matters because Twisted Minds have control.
TP through the point, beat lands from Kellex. He tries to get some environmental kills off the map. Bit off a little bit more as he can chew though, as UB chase him down with a right click. A fully charged Zarya is not to be messed with as Checkmate TP's away, but 10% to go, and Twisted Minds will find this first round.
This is for the last hurrah. AlQadsiah, Ziad has to touch. He's on his way. Kellex could have a rollout too. Can they deny it?
Ziad, TP onto the point, okay. Overtime triggered now, but Health bar is waning for Ziyad, even walled off there by his own Mei as they were trying to collapse on the Zarya. But Quartz just unleashes the railgun. Overclock finds 2 kills, and Twisted Minds are taken to a 3rd round on Lijiang Tower.
Oh, things that are assured in life, death taxes, and Quartz getting a pick in every fight. That has been such a difference maker. In Labda, the value on the Mei is a mixed bag. The Blizzard not getting the freezes he was hoping for, especially when the barrier came out from Funny Astro, just to help things move along. The ice block has been good to give him a lot of survivability, but you're just getting more impact out of Quartz. Like, look at this.
That was an incredible grab too. Spotting the Zarya, using the thrusters. Luckily didn't get 180'd. All right, 3rd round. Might mark it. 2 Zaryas, no Divas anymore, no funny business.
This is the setup for Lab is so important here. This first fight, if you can defend with Mei and the Symmetra, it's gonna be so hard to retake. Ooh.
Okay, you gotta be careful crossing that small choke. Torch just perma-spamming, 100 energy on the rail. Oh, I mean, yeah, Checkmate's regretting that one.
Need someone to try and contest this. I'd love to say if Labda doesn't win this first fight, I'd like to see the mirror, but now AlQadsiah will step up out into the open. Ziyad has bubbles to play with. First Mei wall down.
Yeah, decent wall, but 2 entrances to this point, of course. Ziyad extremely low, 2 seconds to another bubble, and looks like Twisted Minds knows it. They try and make their approach on this corner, but Ziyad reappears, 100 energy, KSA in trouble. Another wall comes in, Simple looks for a teleport exit, but is completely denied from it. And this will be Ziyad just lasering down the rest of the team. A couple of little turrets to just be a little fly on the wall, that's about it. AlQadsiah with the first cap.
Yeah, Ziyad not happy with his Diva performance. Not able to get back into mech, not able to deny the grab. It's the mind games against KSA. It's AlQad that get to defend first, and so important to do so with the Mei. Twisted Minds trying to flip.
Yeah, they're going to try and use that wall. That Mei wall, though, actually ended up blocking a lot of that rush. There's only a slight centimeters worth of that Kiriko ult that was usable. A nice right click on the ground there. Splash damage from Checkmate did end up killing Quartz, but now has to deal with this wall. TP's away from the team as he gets a couple of right clicks in on it, but KSA is just dodging around it perfectly. The wall does end up disappearing, and a boot from Funny Astro sends him careening off the edge.
Yeah, Funny Astro, he'll deliver on those important frags, but UB's wall caused the most important chaos and good points where it split up the fight into 2, and AlQadsiah couldn't focus on the right side at the right time. Twisted Minds looking to flip. They couldn't even play close with the grab. They're going to decide to play back so that Quartz can look for picks, maybe not even need to invest in ult.
Graviton Surge versus Graviton Surge, but a really early one here from KSA, and Ziyad just melted. KSA basically carved his initials in Ziyad's face. A good early fight win as the retreat ensues for AlQadsiah.
Yeah, that was a good Symmetra wall for Checkmate. If the poke phase would have extended even more, would have allowed for a good approach, but the grabs are exchanged, or just one was thrown. Actually, Ziyad still has his, and now there's no Diva to deny it. Ziyad looking for a good target, and look, Twisted Minds split out.
Grab. Up onto the sky, Sound Barrier does come in though. Astro jumps in, saves KSA, and Quartz with the railgun again!
He shines like a diamond and is delivering day after day. He's consistent and he's the best. And Labda has to match it. He's on the Sojourn as well. And Twisted Minds are looking to touch spawn. KSA will escape.
I love the spawn touches because they can just use the TP to get away. They're going to go for it again. Lab just too far up. Emergency Sound Baron, a quick teleport there from AlQadsiah just to flip the point. There's the quick flip as well. That was an unbelievably good play from AlQad. And now they can just push in with their rush. That caught Twisted Minds completely off guard. Their mind well and truly twisted.
I can't believe Checkmate found the angle. Usually you kind of have to step out of the doorway and through the window. Must have the extra range, and Twisted Minds, like you said, completely caught off guard. And now this round could go either way. And looking towards UB to create a safe zone with that barrier, especially on the defense. AlQadsiah will have to find a good angle with the teleports if they can.
Be a slow fight. Building up to this symbol is going to be important, so they're not going to rush in just yet. He's got 3%, I think that 2. As soon as one more right click lands, and there it is. Now the push comes in. They've got the wall. Deal with those mini turrets first, but the wall ends up coming down, separating the team. Quite far back though, as you can see, Labda takes a teleport behind them. And now Twisted Minds have to make a decision. Push into Labda or push into Ziad. Checkmate goes pretty low as a Graviton Surge is thrown in by KSA, and he catches two. Checkmate now, looking on an off angle to try and disarm Quartz. The right click connects onto Yubi, and the turret does the rest of the work as the wall is deployed, but Checkmate does end up going down. Quartz bums back with a little bit of revenge, and now Twisted Minds in full control. Ziad is going to be on this wrecking ball to get the final touch. Booped around for a slight moment there, but it looks like KSA wants to get back to the fight as well. And SCC overtime as Quartz uses this overclock once more. Labda's one completely denied by KSA's defense matrix as Quartz just waits, bated breath for his prey to enter the point as Twisted Minds take map one.
It was AlQadsiah that started Lijiang Tower, and it's Twisted Minds that ended it off the blood, sweat, and tears of Quartz. The cohesion behind Yubi's walls. The Zarya supremacy from KSA, forcing the Ziad Diva to kneel and to copy. But you cannot replicate what KSA can do when pushed to this edge. You tried to take away his RAM, and he's got options.
AlQadsiah is the team everybody was afraid of coming into this tournament. Even the Korean teams paying them a lot of respects, saying their sim stuff is extremely good, scary in fact. And we've already seen that gap between the Korean and EMEA teams is closing and closing swiftly. And now it's basically like a battle of brother teams. I mean, UB, Quartz, Labda, going at each other right now, but Quartz continues to just honestly dominate on the Sojourn. It's been tough to shut this guy down at the best of times when you're having a game like this, when you're having a series, when you're having a tournament like this. How do you even put a stick in the spokes? Like, how do you stop this guy?
Yeah, I think the Labda swap off of the Mei just came too delayed, because the Zarya can just bubble you out of the Blizzard. You didn't have as much of an impact. Labda swaps at the last second to the Sojourn, but you just could not stop what had already been started. Now AlQadsiah fall on the first map on their very map pick. Despite taking the first round, Twisted Minds just stuck to their guns, and now it's AlQadsiah that decide our next map.
The Symmetra is going to be a hot pick here throughout this series. The question is, do either of the teams actually ban it? We've seen this Zarya, it's not been played that much throughout the tournament, if any. Ziad and KSA both bringing out on that final round to mirror. We know historically Zarya good against the Diva, but as time kind of goes on with Mei, with Sim, very easy to shut this Zarya down. You have to be explosive with it.
AlQadsiah's choices of maps, they've gone to New Junk City and Colosseo when they face GK in that Game 5 in groups. Ideally, they'd really like to go to something friendly to the Diva. Any small map, Control, Flashpoint, to be ideal, especially now that they're free to keep the Diva back in. But we'll see what the bans hold, as if those bans are locked in, I'm seeing Diva being banned out by Twisted Minds, Juno banned by AlQadsiah.
Could even just be a Zarya matchup. We're going to Flashpoint and we're going to Atlas. Brand new map in the map pool, brand new map in the game as well. It's good to see it actually in rotation already. Suravasa, of course, taken out to substitute for Atlas. And it's been interesting to see the development, of course. No way you've got as much scrim time on this map as comparatively to Suravasa, which has been the go-to Flashpoint throughout the entirety of stage 2. Let's lock in, let's load in. Twisted Minds taking an early lead. Like you said, AlQadsiah, Juno ban and a Diva ban for TM.
So is Ziad gonna want to do something like the Hazard, the Ram? Do you dare mirror the Ramatra Goat on a map like this? Very close, narrowly being taken by Twisted Minds in round 3. Last time they encountered each other, it was a Game 7 A grueling gauntlet between both these teams. Even at some points, Twisted Minds had employed Psycho as a flex support, and they still took some wins. So now you have Simple in the lineup. This is peak Twisted Minds.
It's going to be Lucio's all day for both teams. I want to see if they've got anything else kind of cooked up. Brawl makes the most sense too. That Ramatra, KSA, even Hover and Mauga, I can imagine it's going to be a Ramatra pick from TM as well. KSA, an exceptional Mauga player, to be fair. And on the first point too, this high ground control with a Mauga, it can be so tough to even rush and like brawl into that. That cardiac overdrive mixed with the Sin, it's just so much upfront damage. Even with the block from the Ram, I mean, good luck. TP's out, UB sticking on this Sim.
And Twisted Minds had a really tough loss against Crazy Raccoon, but it was against a dive that they just could not withstand, and UB played the Mei, and I would expect him to fall back to the Tracer if the Symmetra doesn't work out, but this is the bread and butter of UB, hoping to diff checkmate this time.
Look at that, they're already fighting over to this high ground. Quartz on a nice off angle. Very little space you can kind of hold here if you're AlQadsiah and not get shot by Quartz. Just that small little pillar, that lab just hiding behind. It's all about focusing down these Rams, but there's the first kill. The right-click railgun from any Sojourn and then a punch, it'll do it. Checkmate falls, same with Lab. Okay, Twisted Minds off to a good start. They've lost their tank, however. So can AlQadsiah actually hold on to this? It's a little bit too much damage though, especially without your Sojourn. So you're gonna have to force something here and actually just use that sound barrier to get in the fight. Kellex trying to track the location of Yubi. He was just perma-teleporting. But that early sound barrier for AlQadsiah ends up winning the day.
Yeah, it was very messy at the beginning, but with KSA falling, Twisted Minds had to scatter and just take their own duels, take their ones, and AlQadsiah, they won't have that for the next fight, obviously, and you don't have a Tracer who can go and cap while all this dancing is happening, so you need to win the fight, ideally, or send your Lucio to cap. We'll see what Twisted Minds decide. We'll have both support ultimates to fight.
DP across, sound barrier advantage for Astro. He's in the vortex, but it's all good. A teleport away, but Quartz is actually on an off angle right now, surprising the backline of AlQadsiah. A quick 180 from Kellex deals with the Sojourn, and landed healing everybody up from afar now. As they see Ziad kind of pushing and pressuring the front line. Should be a fairly easy collection here of some more percent. This is a tough fight for Twisted Minds to fight into. Just using your beat like that and not winning the fight, not good.
Yeah, just getting surprised by the TP there of AlQadsiah, but you got the ults. AlQadsiah, how much did they want to invest for this last 20%?
TP off angle, rush used, disengaged from Twisted Minds, a better rush for them. They're fighting on the point with it, and here comes the wall, forcing Labter to maybe relocate. There isn't an annihilation for Ziad, but he ends up teleporting up to the high ground, so wasn't able to kind of extend that ultimate as the flip comes in. AlQadsiah, though, happy with this scenario. They just need another flip, and they should be good. The overclock used from Quartz down this small corridor. Oh, it's easy pickings for the Sojourn. Ziad pretty low, too. They're going to decide to stagger him for as long as humanly possible.
AlQadsiah used 3 ults and let the flip happen, didn't get kills, and then lost the fight. That was kind of sketchy from AlQadsiah, but like you said, they got a score buffer, 98%. It'll take one fight. Twisted Minds invested just as much, though. They have to make the comeback.
I really like that outwards push again there. Kind of pushing the other team to the limits. Both of them like using the teleport to get an early engage, early poke, and maybe find a pick, and then just running away with it. Low ground push here for AlQadsiah and a TP onto the high ground. The wall deployed on the point. KSA's there, going to be there to try and match the team, but a sound barrier, and he just gets overwhelmed, overran. Those micro turrets aren't going to do much now, unfortunately, for Yubi, as tumbling bodies of Twisted Minds just enter the point to try and trigger OT, but this is all lost here for TM on this first one. AlQadsiah are going to flip, and they're going to find 1 point.
AlQadsiah, they have the good initiative. I mean, the very first fight was off the barrier. They collect 80%. They just stuffed Twisted Minds, traded ults, ultimately ending out on top. Quicker to rotations, you have support ults, both of them from the side of Twisted Minds. We'll see who steps into this open area first. Labda versus Quartz, while also, how much do you want to separate yourself from the flock? Take these off angles, because the Lucios have been really good at peeling. Ziad's going to be first to step up. It's not unlocked yet. He will be exposing himself to poke. He'll use the pillars as bait. And now you got Kitsune Rush for Landon, righty down the lane.
Well, Labda's super low. Prompts a quick Suzu there to make sure he doesn't get one-tapped. Simple trying to dodge out of the way of Labda as the wall is placed on the point. Breaking this fight up, breaking it in half. Good push from Twisted Minds. These walls used to perfection.
I kind of was expecting AlQad to try and mirror some of these ults. Like Landon was in position to Kitsune Rush Ziad. Maybe they just want to combine that with the Annihilation, but Twisted Minds, they're so quick to overwhelm you. And this is the AlQadsiah special comp. And, well, Twisted Minds doing pretty well so far. They will be defending for now, but wait, now meeting some trouble. Ziad is up close.
Punch block, punch block, punch block. Sound barrier for Funny Astro. Checkmate is in the front line, just had nowhere to go. A good little teleport behind as well. Turning the attention of AlQadsiah as Quartz. I gotta get some numbers on this railgun, this overclock efficiency. He's at minimum getting 2 kills every single ult.
Yeah, Labda versus Quartz, just the 2 best Sojourns that we have facing off, but it's Quartz who has just been lightning in a bottle when it comes to this tournament. Labda, at least we get to see him on the hero this time. Quick TP in as Ziad wants to bring the attention all on himself to pop the Annihilation, get a flip, but it's 99% to Twisted Minds.
Yeah, the SEC overtime comes in, but AlQadsiah do have this support ult advantage. Kelly's making good use of it as well. Beat comes in, easy fight win. No shot, you take over the game there, Twisted Minds. Maybe you lay down the rush, but against the sound barrier, it's a bit too overwhelming there if you're trying to contest at the same time.
Yeah, maybe Funny Astro was grabbing a pack. I don't know how much backup KSA had while he got jumped on by the entirety of AlQadsiah. They've been looking really cohesive, but they still have to go from 0 to 100. So ult economy is going to be key.
And Quartz find an opening. At the very early Suzu. You almost got to, if you're around 50% HP as a squishy, you just have to Suzu the front line. Otherwise, one of the Sojourns is going to hit a railgun headshot, and that fight is done. Making it very slow, though. This might only be a 1-fight OT.
So yeah, KSA took some heavy damage, probably from Labda. Overclock on the other side of that pillar, waits Labda, hoping to get a headshot surprise on Yubi. Where's this Yubi teleport gonna go? It's gonna go towards Labda. They're not gonna take it, at least fully.
Yeah, they were just waiting for wall that whole time. And they managed to use it there, and Labda gets sniped out by Quartz mid-ult. Quartz shuts him down. As Yubi is full charge, but ends up falling over to the Annihilation, even though he took the teleport. Ziad's still pretty low with that armor, coming in clutch with the Annihilation. Swinging forward, looking at KSA, but it is all Quartz all day. An overtime coming in for Twisted Minds, and Quartz once again shows up big with his OC.
Saves that fight just like he did against Crazy Raccoon. If it wasn't for Quartz, I don't know if Twisted Minds would even be in this match. Incredible performance, map after map, and Labda silenced in the middle of his ultimate, as you pointed out. That is going to be a killer, especially with AlQadsiah not having the ults for this first fight. Points are equal as AlQadsiah hopes to tie the series, and KSA, he's thrown left hook.
Oh, what a flank! Quartz got behind them. He shut down Labda instantly. A devastating lack of a frontal lobe there by Landon as he puts a railgun on his face. That's a quick cap from Twisted Minds. These TP mind games are insane.
The confidence from Twisted Minds is overflowing. Once they're happy, once they get going, it is hard to stop them. Not even the last EWC champs were able to do so. All eyes are on Twisted Minds to see how long they can keep this point up. So AlQadsiah will have a barrier, but Funny Astro pretty close to his as well.
It's going to be a big support ult trade here. Astro and Kellex, if Astro can actually get to that sound barrier, should do, as KSA is taking a lot of damage. Ravenous Vortex hits the back line, it prompts an Annihilation, a quick teleport though. However, as they do trade backlines, AlQadsiah ends up just basically flipping the map. The rush ends up coming in pretty late here for Simple, but it's good enough, I think, on this staircase to actually push them all forward. Simple actually now just hunting Labda, but he scores a railgun to the back of the head. Quartz and checkmate now in a small 1v1, but with Astro's help, he should be good. A teleport, a right click, another TP, another right click. Checkmate needs this kill and he needs it bad. Quartz is now full HP with Ziad going exceptionally low. Pops the Annihilations to stay in the fight, but this wall is something you cannot contend with. Twisted Minds, they lose Quartz, but they got the point. They're going to get OT, I'd imagine, AlQadsiah, but I don't think UB wants them to. A TP and a smack to the face as Twisted Minds. A 2-1 up. Yeah, Quartz dropping the big question mark.
Funny Astro, hilarious too. The way that he's just impactful in the kill feed as well. That could be the big difference. Twisted Minds matching ult for ult, and AlQadsiah will have to try and defend off the checkmate barrier. They have the early rotations. They have to hold.
VPs? Okay. Same teleport. Kellex, yeah, I guess got caught with a right click there. Must have been. It's always going to be frustrating for them to kind of deal with, but because there's no Lucy on the side of AlQadsiah, their ability to just dive in has been cut in half. Although Labda says otherwise. A short-range TP from UB doesn't, he can't escape from the wrath of Labda. And now the 1v1 versus Quartz. Quartz 1 HP and Labda shuts him down.
Labda has all his ducks in a row. And if he could sit back, take his shot, he'll land it. And Ziad has to hold the space for him. AlQadsiah gonna play forward, maybe to hold this choke and allow the slow, but also want to be aware, where is this UB teleport gonna go? Who is gonna be their target? Sound barrier 30% ahead for Funny Astro. This could help the flip for Twisted Minds.
Defensive TP back to the point. Sound barrier in. Like you said, Kellex a little bit too far behind. Teleport away for Landon as UB goes on the hunt. Spots both supports, lands a bad right click there. Oh my goodness. That was a massive one from UB as he whipped round the corner. Unstoppable is UB with these right clicks. You hit that and a railgun, it's all over, and Quartz proved it.
Funny Astro is just attending to Quartz, allowing him to take these rotations, go on the flank, off angles, always in AlQadsiah's face, and adding to the damage on top. Such amazing chemistry out of this Twisted Minds squad. Kitsune Rush, Annihilation from both sides. This could be what defines the map.
I mean, double support ult dump here is going to be pretty scary. Good TP, Rush, 180s there, onto the point so they can make full effect as they try and fight over it. And here comes the overclock by Quartz, looking Ziad directly in the faces. The rest of AlQadsiah scurry for cover. You can't let this guy get an angle. He will take over the game. He spots Landu, who's already TP'd. Makes use of that perk, though, and teleports away yet again. Annihilation does end up killing Quartz, but is it enough? It looks like KSA and Simple join the rest of their brethren on the point. And they're all 10 feet under now as AlQadsiah claim the cap.
Yeah, with how long that fight went up to 77, that could have been Twisted Minds ending it, but AlQadsiah trying to force a final point. And to defend with a barrier, it's going to be huge, but how will UB want to section this fight and section the real estate? Barrier ahead for Funny Astro as well.
They're going to be able to get the touch here, and Labba starts off the fight with just a neutral right click. It's got the OC as well, but they're not going to need it. This is going the full distance here on Atlas. A reset by Quartz. Jumped on Tracer to try and get back to the point in time. A 2-2 scoreline.
Killing Funny Astro before the sound barrier was huge. Final point. We went to round 3 on Lijiang Tower. The clash of Saudi teams will go the distance, as you said, and Labda has come alive. And he'll have the overclock, and he'll want to be louder with it this time, unless Quartz will put him on mute.
Yeah, I mean, he shut it down last time. As soon as he ripped it, Quartz had a railgun with his name on it. Slowly but surely waiting now for Funny Astro's soundbar before they make their push. There's the teleport, quick rotation, and an amp as well to make sure everybody can get to cover. Fearing Labda, of course. There's the overclock, looking directly at Quartz with a sound barrier. Now you're going to have to chew through that. A dash away for Labda, but can still do a considerable amount of damage even with the body shots. Overhealth now disappearing for Twisted Minds, but AlQadsiah have got more to come. A sound barrier on the point is Funny Astro targeted by Landon, and now Labda just fighting with the brothers in the front line as they claim the first cap on this last point.
I like the barrier from Astro. You know what, Labda is starting to heat up, but Twisted Minds couldn't convert kills with all the extra shields they had. They were cowering away, and the later barrier from Kellex is what allowed AlQadsiah to thrive and to live on, and now through the choke, it's a Kitsune Rush annihilation up first for AlQadsiah. KSA a little behind, but Simple could match, and that's all that matters.
They're going to try and rotate. Kelix just one there. Simple tried to go for the extra kunai. Easy rush positioning now for Twisted Minds. Same for AlQadsiah, but Kelix goes down to Astro of all people. Spammed across the map, perhaps. They trade for Yubi. Annihilation on the points. Now AlQadsiah can stall this one out. Quartz uses this overclock though and is looking for heads. But are they going to give him any? They end up just dashing away, and what? Okay, straight in front of him, ends up appearing. A double dash for Quartz, but no, this time he's a little muted. Checkmate shut Quartz down, and Checkmate's turret does the rest of Funny Astro. AlQadsiah take us all the way. Points, and they find the round and the map. A wall ends up coming in, but it's too little, it's too late. AlQadsiah tying up the series.
Quartz, a target-rich environment, but the Symmetra wall that broke everything up, his attention was called towards the tank. When he had the Symmetra in his face, this disappeared like a ghost. Quartz needed to deliver in that final moment. He's been so good so far. But AlQadsiah just dip, dive, and dodge, and thrive at the end with Checkmate able to ramp up his energy and his DPS to have a last laugh. Our series is tied, and we'll find out who takes the lead after this.
Hey guys, Danny Lim here to bring you guys a cross-stage report for PUBG Mobile. I got Jackie here, the expert. Jackie, I know this is the third day of the grand finals. How are the games looking like?
Really intense action. We've got smash rule and effects. So obviously, if a team breaks that 128-point barrier, you can win straight up from one game, right? So intensity's there. We've currently got two teams in the running. Yangon Galacticus, this is a young squad, kind of inexperienced, but they've come out swinging.
Okay.
Looking like they might actually be able to do it today. And then Weibo, they've had a back-to-back chicken dinner in the first two games. This is nearly a record-breaking result. I believe it's 4 is the limit.
Weibo Gaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on Overwatch side, Weibo Gaming unfortunately got knocked out already. But I do want to ask, I know you guys have Team Falcons on PUBG Mobile as well. How are they doing?
It's not been great, I'll be honest. It's been a bit of a struggle. The wings have been clipped for the Falcons here. They're trying, but it's a bit of a struggle for the roster. I think the issue is they were a bit slow to adapt compared to how aggressive some of the teams have been, and it's getting quite close towards breaking point.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's over yet, because on Overwatch side, Team Falcons are still in the running. They are in the semifinals. They haven't played yet, but I mean, if they win Overwatch on the Overwatch side, they do have a chance of going up the rank in the club championship. So we'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
History in the making here at the mid-season championships. We're guaranteed a Korea EMEA finals as Twisted Minds and AlQadsiah now at 1 apiece. We're going to Circuit Royale as our map. Twisted Minds banning Lifeweaver and AlQadsiah banning Freya.
Yeah, Twisted Minds have picked Circuit Royale before, and if you remember, yesterday was a good one against Crazy Raccoon. Who else but Twisted Minds could full hold the champs of, well, I guess former champs now of Crazy Raccoon. It was disgusting how fast they were able to play. So now we go towards the bans where Twisted Minds, the Lifeweaver first. This is mainly to protect the role, maybe to allow them to run whatever support they want. AlQadsiah trying to force the Sojourn mirror potentially with this Freya ban.
If you go back even a few weeks ago in the regular stage, I mean, especially in NA where BAP Lifeweaver was this unbreakable comp on this map, especially on that defense. But yeah, I feel like this is more of a protection ban for TM. AlQadsiah starting on defense, Labda back on Sojourn. I mean, it's going to be basically a mirror. We'll see what KSA wants to switch up, but UB checkmate on the Sims, Labda Quartz on the Sojourns. Yeah, this is what you want to see in a semi-finals game.
Yeah, pretty important to just protect that support role. You know how crucial Funny Astro is to bring the speed to the brawl, because without it, you're so susceptible to poke, and you'd have to employ the Juno. Quick TP to the left building, allow them to take that top left high ground if they want. AlQadsiah trying to hold the first corner, but they could always fall back if needed. Let Labda do all the talking.
Yeah, you basically TP there just to make sure no one's hiding in that mega health pack room for a big surprise, which you don't see the player portraits until about 15 seconds into the round, so you won't know exactly what they're running, but you'd have a good guess. Good pick onto KSA to start, though.
Yeah, AlQadsiah buying time and to force as many fights as you can. A lot of teams even like to just hold the second quarter. So taking a fight here means more time being taken away from Twisted Minds, and every kill here matters because you're farming up towards the first ults, which could already swing in AlQadsiah's favor.
That's frustrating dying on those doors, man. It really is. TP to the left, wrap around the high ground, little TP back. Okay, just keep them guessing. Don't want to get blown up again. Obviously, Nemesis formed pretty early, but it doesn't match Ziad, so you're kind of happy with that trade.
All right, Ziad a lot healthier in this moment. KSA slowed and forward. Great first pick.
Yeah, I think he took a headshot there and then a couple of extra left clicks to take down checkmate. And now you've lost a lot of your front witch pressure. Forte, yet again, just hits another railgun shot onto Labda. UB and Astro doing a good getting traded, though, as Landon comes up big. I mean, you lose your sim, you lose so much tank pressure as KSA unable to do much else. It should be a back off, though. I mean, only 2 players surviving. There's no shot you hold this corner.
Yeah, Labda is just going to have the better angle on defense, playing this back bridge, and KSA took a fight in the small room, left the rest of his team susceptible, but the respawn advantage is for Twisted Minds, so trades ultimately will end and favor them. And now you got an overclock.
Yeah, straight from the high ground as well. Look at that back up, yeah. Teleport not quite fully around that corner, so it was an easy lineup for Labda.
Half the time bank is gone, so Twisted Minds better get a move on. They were supposed to be the this is their map pick.
Dude, we're just dying outside of the spawn doors, man. All right, just quick reset, come on. Just got to get back into this. Obviously, the payload slowly trickling back. Got a minute and 40 seconds and basically made no progress. It's been like an OT fight here as well because the amount of support ults, you're going to have to really overwhelm them. Early rush from Landon. Simple doesn't get away either. My God, this is disastrous. Devastating for Twisted Minds. Like, AlQadsiah, they're just fighting on the first corner and Labda's finding a pick every fight.
How do Twisted Minds like the taste of their own medicine? They did exactly this against Crazy Raccoon, full holding them. Now Twisted Minds, 5 ults, lit up like a Christmas tree. Surely they can take this win, but wait, the barrier will deny.
Yeah, that wall and the sound barrier. Quartz, though, not in their Ravenous Vortex, so he's got his full movement speed available to it. And now KSA is trying to move up, trying to cause as much destruction in the front line, but a quick flip around, and Simple not expecting that. A beautiful placement there of the disruptor shot onto that teleporter. A sound barrier from Funny Astro does hit 4, but with Simple dead, their lifelines are dwindling. An amazing rotational play from AlQadsiah. I mean, this is an outplay of an unbelievable magnitude right now. Funny Astro should be able to get away, but we're looking at an OT push here for first.
30 seconds or less. I love that TP from AlQadsiah. You'd think he would have fell back to the second quarter, the corner, the safer position. No, behind Twisted Minds, they couldn't react in time, couldn't get into the left room, and they're dead again.
Lab just got overclocked too, just wide peek this corner. Wall is going to help them at least for the time being, as Lab does slide all the way backwards. KSA pretty low, but with no Nemesis form, he can't play too aggro. A teleport away from AlQadsiah as they play the second corner now.
Now Twisted Minds have to face
the rush, they're going in.
A rush.
They're going to try and cower in that Mega Health Pack room, but the charge on the Symmetra is just too much. Quartz dead, UB down, and there you go. AlQadsiah, a full hold against Twisted Minds, a confidence builder, a statement maker on Circuit Royale.
Got the Olays going, AlQadsiah smiling ear to ear to beat them in the Ramatra mirror like that, and the trade ult for ult, and just the TP play from Checkmate. The risk to go behind Twisted Minds like that, to set up Labda for success on all fronts, to sit back and deliver on the overclocks, to kill Twisted Minds before they could cower and spawn. AlQadsiah took our previous map by the skin of their teeth, and they're looking like they want to go to match point soon.
Not sure how much time we have between the last and this map, but it looks like Labda jumped into the hyperbolic time chamber a little bit. Maybe spent 1,000 years training, not sure, because that was an unbelievable performance. He found the first pick in most fights. And like you said as well, the TPs from Checkmate, putting Labda behind the team, catching Simple as you would as a support, be moving behind your team, healing everybody up. They quick TP, they shoot him in the back there, and the rest is history. 20 seconds for the gates unlocked, but this feels like an all AlQadsiah game here. It could be over before you know it.
So it has to be the best game of Duck Hunt out of Quartz to hold AlQadsiah at bay, because the card is just barely around the corner. So Twisted Minds will have to fight with everything they've got. And I think Quartz and UB have to generate that power.
Oh!
The first!
No one has fallen for that since 97. Like, UB, come on. A Widow pick on the sim, no less. So you've lost all your mobility with the Symmetra teleports. You have to play on that second corner, and you're fighting the final fight in a matter of 30 seconds inside this round.
And Labda has a great power position.
What?
What was that?
Okay, hits the railgun shot on Labda, then disruptor shot kills too. Okay, the great equalizer. They call him Quartz.
Twisted Minds keep their head above water just barely. Labda had the opening pick on UB, was able to teleport back just as quickly. Now AlQadsiah have to use shields and spawn just to TP, and Quartz is in their face. He has to get away, he can't!
That was an overstay of the century by Quartz. Way too over-aggressive, and Simple's dead too. Oh, the boulder just keeps on rolling down this hill. There's a couple of meters, and they don't even try. AlQadsiah take the lead in the series, a 2-1 after Circuit Royale. And on top of that, match points.
Could have afforded to lose Quartz, but losing Simple meant that KSA could not anchor and deny the progress, to deny the inevitable. AlQadsiah winning back-to-back maps against Twisted Minds' map pick there at the end, forcing the Sojourn Mirror from the AlQadsiah Freya ban, and Labda shows up when it matters against his former teammate.
An unbelievable map from Twisted Minds when they face Crazy Raccoon on that map, holding them fully, and AlQadsiah says, we'll do you one better. We're gonna jump down to Pocket as they break down the series thus far.
Congratulations, AlQadsiah. You just made Twisted Minds' best comp look terrible. We got Johnny and Mr. Jake here on the couch, and I want to start with you, Reinforce. Symmetra, she was fun to watch up until the mirror comps. It looks like AlQadsiah has a huge edge, though, if they are running the same characters.
Yeah, I mean, we've been credited AlQadsiah all year, really, because Checkmate Symmetra play is just next level. And I think actually on Circuit Royale, you saw the perfect examples. Yes, you saw initiative from Twisted Minds, but the response teleporter always put AlQadsiah in a position to succeed. And that is the big difference maker. You're seeing Twisted Minds, they're trying to force it, they're trying to put themselves in a position to have the edge, but the response from AlQadsiah is just too much.
Jake, I gotta ask, is that guy Yubi a little bit mind blown right now? Are they on tilt? Because after failing to get any momentum on Circuit Royale, he gets picked by a Widow, and the casters called it out. We don't see that unless you're watching contenders or the amateur scene.
Yeah, it's rare to see that opening Widow pick actually work off. It's an unforced error, but honestly, at that point, Circuit Royale is gone. It really doesn't matter. Like, you're never going to win from that position. It's such a ridiculous overperformance on the defense in that first half from AlQadsiah. I think now, though, talking about Yubi, this is a true test, right? We talk about this team, okay, they don't have a coach. Maybe they don't need one, but sometimes a coach is that external voice who can come in at this moment of incredible stress and pressure and calm people down, give them a different perspective. Yubi is in the game. He's having to deal with this match while at the same time trying to find the adaptation that will give Twisted Minds the edge, and that is a tough ask. I feel like that map 2 flashpoint was such a bellwether moment. I mean, it really did come down to the wire. But once AlQadsiah took that, man, they have so much momentum. This is one of the most egregious circuit defenses I've ever seen. I mean, AlQadsiah are flying right now. They're going to be on such strong momentum going into the next map. Twisted Minds are happy, I guess. They have a bit of a halftime to chill out, but this could be a very quiet locker room, Puckett.
Johnny, we've got some support mains on our talent roster, including Mr. X, and he kept giving mad props to Landon. Is that how you're seeing it right now with the backline comparison? Who has the edge between TM and AlQadsiah?
Yeah, I think Landon is just a fantastic addition to this AlQadsiah roster, of course, because even dating back to his time on Lono Spitfire when he was coached by Christopher, back then they credited communication skills a lot of that team, and that's why they always upset these big teams. Landon has had so much experience in his career, polishing all of these great qualities, like communication, for example. So Landon being your backbone on this roster, helping, that is a fantastic addition to this team. And also the flexibility, if required, of course, we've seen throughout the year, Ilari, Batiste, he does it all. So Landon is a fantastic flex support for this team, and I think he has the edge.
I do want to remind everybody that I picked Twisted Minds to win this one. Why? Because Quartz is on the team. Let's go back to game one, because, Jake, I was all smiles after our first 20 minutes.
Look, Quartz came out very hot. I think AlQadsiah maybe overcooked just a little bit with the Ram ban. I think for them, maybe they were trying to throw things into chaos and catch Twisted Minds off guard, but KSA had a great read to come to the Zarya, and oh man, did Quartz deliver. Give him those extra resources with the Zarya bubble. Killing the Sojourn first isn't really an option when those bubbles can come out. So KSA and Quartz came combined for some really impressive highlights on map 1. However, this was a very weird map because of that Ram ban. They're not going to get this scenario again. Very unlikely now. And so for Twisted Minds, they're going to have to think, how can we recreate this situation where Quartz can carry, Quartz can take over? But he's going against Labda. I mean, years ago, we would have said, Labda, he's a farm main. Like, right? He's not going to a hit scan mirror versus Quartz. Like, what are you talking about? And honestly, Labda has been one of my most impressive players this year. Just seeing the absolute revitalization of this player, him showing a completely different side of himself on the hit scan role. It's impressive to see, and honestly, I think he could go far here at the Esports World Cup.
Okay, so that is the showdown we're looking forward to. Johnny, if you are Twisted Minds, do you ban a Symmetra? Do you ban a Sojourn to fix or to force something different going into a game 4?
I think you have to go down with the ship in this kind of scenario. Twisted Minds, I think they're a little bit more limited than AlQadsiah. We've seen throughout the year, you know, Checkmate, such a flexible player dating back to the Florida Mayhem days. And then also you can see Labda on Lijiang Tower flexed over onto that May, of course. I think for Twisted Minds, that's not something they want to do. They want to put Quartz on a hit scan hero and maybe keep Yubi on that Symmetra, because even Yubi's Tracer have struggled so far this tournament. Do I trust Yubi in a Tracer mirror against Checkmate? I really don't. And so I think Twisted Minds, they've had some good moments on the Symmetra. They need Quartz to step up, honestly, and make a big difference. It worked out on map 1, but since the question mark we saw on Atlas, it's been downhill from there. So I need Quartz to step up here and Twisted Minds go down with the Symmetra ship.
There's a look at the boys talking it over. Yubi and KSA. Jake, they are deciding where to go, as it will be Twisted Minds selection. What do you expect to see next?
Well, going to Colosseo, I mean, this is an arena in which Hitscan is incredibly dominant. Probably one of the best Hitscan maps in the pool, I'd say, overall. And so this is a spot where Quartz could step up. He could be that guy. However, Labda has just as much chance. I'd love to see, I mean, maybe this is crazy, but I would kind of like to see maybe a Ram ban out of Twisted Minds. I mean, you had success in that matchup on map 1. The May didn't quite work out for AlQadsiah, so interesting options here.
It's time to battle back and force a game number 5. Twisted fans, get on your hands. Sorry, get on your feet. Make some noise with those hands as we go back to our casters.
Well, they can get on their hands as well. I'm sure everybody in the audience can do a handstand just for you, Buckets. Colosseo is the battleground of choice. Look, AlQadsiah are on match point. Another victory here will truly be rewriting history. I mean, they did lose against Twisted Minds in that Saudi E-League final, but out of the last 5 games they played against each other, it has been an AlQadsiah win.
Quartz may have put a question mark, but AlQadsiah put a period on that Circuit Royale. That full hold was disgusting. Just Checkmate really showing us that he could possibly just be the better Symmetra. Whoever comes out on top of this series, I definitely think could define that. But Colosseo, the Twisted Minds choice, another good one. They full pushed this against Crazy Raccoon yesterday. Pure domination on their side, just TPing all over the place. Twisted Minds, will they be able to force the game 5? Now with that map choice, they're gonna ban the Tracer first. In response, AlQadsiah getting rid of the Life Weaver.
Yeah, it was historically just so impressive, that series against Crazy Raccoon. If you showed me a screenshot of that map and then flipped the names and showed me before the tournament started, you'd be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Crazy Raccoon full capping against an EMEA team, sure. But full capping against Raccoon like that was just absurd. They've got to bring the same energy here. Got to win 2 back-to-back maps to send them to the finals. I do like the Life Weaver ban again, kind of helping them out. I mean, look, Life Weaver not played a whole bunch, but Trace being banned by Twisted Minds is a little bit of a question mark, to be honest.
I like it just to protect the fact that Symmetra is so core to their composition, and the one thing that maybe could have dismantled that was a flanking Tracer. Such a good hero on this map, which is the main neutral point, that long lane, but to try and get around it is a strategy to circumvent just how much of a death ball this can turn into. But AlQadsiah, match point.
Gates unlocked, and yep, both Sims is going to be all this all day for both the EMEA teams. Can Labda still conquer Quartz? Maybe it was like a small self-boom there by Quartz, hitting that question mark. I mean, I love the talking smack, I love the all-chat smack, I gotta be real, but Labda's been shutting you down now.
Okay, Labda versus Quartz, I should say. But Checkmate had such a good call on Circuit Royale, which would have defined this, but KSA is gonna take the front line.
He'll fake it with the TP there for AlQadsiah. Better rotation for Twisted Minds though. Quartz ends up killing Checkmate. Labda's going to do in one by there, killing a tank is even better in this scenario. Now you got nothing to stand in your way before Quartz puts you in the grave. Ziad at least kills one onto Quartz, but this is all Twisted Minds here as Ziad falls last, and there's the bot control.
AlQadsiah are breaking line of sight of Landon, and they all got really low, and Quartz, with the help of Funny Astra, such an aggressive Lucio, will go and capitalize on those low HP targets quicker than you can regroup. So initial progress goes to Twisted Minds, and look at this advantage of Kitsune Rush in favor of Simple, taking out damage, replenishing it, and that means a Kitsune Rush could extend this lead even more.
This map really doesn't start until after the second fight. After this one, does the map really start to get out of control. Yeah, those Kitsune Rushes, Simple, and the rest of Twisted Minds, they've been going quicker, they've been going first. They even did it against Crazy Raccoon, and don't expect them to slow down here as they try and force the issue. There it is, instant rush round the corner, forcing the retreat of AlQadsiah, and Ziyad falls on his face. Labda's in trouble too, and they're just going to carry on this chase all the way to the spawn.
That Yubi's teleport too, I don't know, it was just so fast. Twisted Minds even catching Ziyad. I thought that this engage would have been solid enough, but checkpoint in sight of Twisted Minds. Being able to also bring the barrier up from Yubi to deny the AlQadsiah touch, or even to break them up.
Yeah, Rush is good, but the wall is better here. They just got to play on the right side of it. This beam is fully charged now by Checkmate, who's dodging in and out of the wall, keeping that 100% energy. They're so close to this checkpoint as well as the sound barrier is popped by Twisted Minds. Quartz on a nice little angle, but now decides to retreat. Both beats used as Quartz all peeking around the corner there at Landon, who did initially take a railgun shot, but a TP from Labda is going to put him in a good spot, and they need another exit, but they can't get away. That teleport was directly in front of AlQadsiah, and Labda is just going to do the rest. He's already found 2 kills. Checkmate dancing with these TPs as Quartz tries to run. Astro tagged, and now AlQadsiah can make progress.
Yeah, Simple was overextended and tried to Suzu himself, didn't pick the right TP target. Quartz had the right spacing. Twisted Minds thought they had time and space to poke and prod, and AlQadsiah collapsed on them. Still 63-14. Twisted Minds are happy with this. All they need to do is stall the bot as best they can.
Yeah, the wall is going to help AlQadsiah here. I mean, KSA is going to... He might have to pop Annihilation, to be honest. Yeah, he does. It's such an awkward spot for him to be in, although with this wall kind of separating Twisted Minds, there's no chance, of course, to get an instant kill, but as soon as it fades, that Disruptor shot finds Checkmates. A good angle now for Twisted Minds as AlQadsiah lose control.
So yeah, it's getting isolated, literally getting shoved up against the wall.
Don't let him get a kill!
Wait! Losing Quartz is really rough there.
Yeah, that is exceptionally rough. You can't make like a really aggressive push now on this bot. You had 3 members, so there was a chance there to maybe get it under the bridge, but yeah, a complete reset into the mid now.
Now a neutral point fight, and you'll have Labda with the overclock versus Quartz, and that first pick could be everything. You're looking towards these Symmetras. You can't dip, dive, and dodge as easily without investing the teleport, and Checkmate will pull the trigger first. Here's the escape.
It's not a fakie. Ziyad actually stays on this side of the map there, not using the teleport with the rest of the team. There's an overclock now, looking at this corner. Kelex tries for the little peek around, gets body shot, but as long as it's not a kill at this moment in time, they've outlived this overclock from Quartz, and maybe now it's Labda's chance. 15% to go is KSA now. They end up flipping the map as he backs on up this straight.
Like that off angle from Labda, but he doesn't want to overextend either. AlQadsiah, it's going to be barrier for barrier. What difference can Labda make?
Overclock.
He's dead!
Labda goes down again. Mid-ult. Yubi scores him with a right click. And there comes tumbling AlQadsiah. Twisted Minds put them in the coffin and sealed it shut.
This is terrible. This is now going to be a checkpoint for Twisted Minds, getting on top of the bridge, and this is deja vu. You have the barrier, Kitsune Rush, and everything. Twisted Minds are so good at using a parallel wall to break up the fight in half, and AlQadsiah, they have to focus. They have to come together.
It's what, like you said, so devastating on this point. The rush is going to come in, but there is the wall. Now they can dance. Looking at Kelex right now is Yubi, but he's a little bit too far up. He ends up getting kind of destroyed by Ziyad in the front line, who was more than happy to accept that kill. But an overextension there by Ziyad does cost him his life. AlQadsiah is still with a player advantage, though. A 4-on-3 is Simple. Quartz and KSA try to get picks or try to get away. Labda on the Cassidy even now decides this Sojourn duel is not in his favor.
Just wanting more consistent damage overall, especially with how much Twisted Minds have been hiding away and denying the Sojourn build-up. But speaking of build-up, Checkmate is forming KSA.
Oh yeah, but this wall is going to be just a thorn in the side. Like, look at this. You can just perma-charge on him now. The Annihilation is still ticking on the front line, but same with Ziad's. A nice little relocation there from Checkmate, but he's getting booped away. Heads up play from Astro there to try and dislodge Checkmate, but he escapes nonetheless. Now Quartz on the flank. 3 players looking at him, but he still gets a kill. Make that 2. Quartz with an unbelievable flank. Funny Astro, sit down. Quartz with 4. A team kill for Twisted Minds. A push onto the final stretch.
Have them at their knees, and that means an extension, a lead that grows to 80 meters plus for Twisted Minds, heading to the finish line, going to game 5 shortly, unless AlQadsiah come up with a response, and it's simple ahead by 15% on the Kitsune rush, which could make all the difference. And you already have Ziad trying to step up to deny progress, as you have the Deadeye from Lambda that's been unleashed, and it finds Funny Astro before the sound barrier comes out.
Yeah, KSA also falls okay. A quick reset now. Double support ult from AlQadsiah. 97 meters to 14 though. It's a massive lead. They've got 3 minutes to do it in.
Still almost 100 meters, that is massive. AlQadsiah would have to win back-to-back fights. It's a lot harder with Cassidy too to be really mobile vertically when you want to take that bridge fight. And you have to first win this neutral fight. All depends what plays Checkmate can create.
Yeah, double rush. What's required now, but Symbol way too far away. This AlQadsiah fight looks pretty simple on the face of it, but a good disengage from Twisted Minds is going to put them in a good spot to maybe re-engage with that beat. It hits the ground before UB can actually get it though, so a 4-on-4. They trade their sims, and now it's all on these Sojourns to try and be the difference makers. Landed now looking straight at Quartz as he's forced to scurry to the miniature health pack. This distance now the Lab has got on the rest of the team is good for AlQadsiah. Pushing the bot almost the entire time as well. With 2 minutes to go, they've got to be near them perfect.
And you're just not going to be able to keep this going. Kelix should be speedy enough on the rollout. He's last one missing, and Checkmate can teleport forward. Ziad's going to maximize progress while the rest of AlQadsiah sit back behind the pillars in safety. This bear is going to help them push up.
This is such a nice barrier too, because you can dip into this miniature health if you want to. You can dip under here, force people away, but are they expecting this return one? This Annihilation is doing a lot of work in the front line. Forces Ziad to pop his, but he needs support. Whoa, a 180 punch from KSA. The sense of presence there, the presence of mind, ends up killing Landon. The bot is in the middle of the map too, and with a minute to go and an ult bank that looks very barren for AlQadsiah, it's all falling apart, and a map number 5 is what is desired by Twisted Minds.
Twisted Minds stealing the bot mid there means that the next fight is for past the checkpoint. This is to grow their lead even more.
Kelix gets headshot there mid-air, slowed down by one of those little turrets. They got checkpoint, forward spawns unlocked. TP, high noon, all the way back. UB, hello? Where do you think you're going? Quartz still manages to find a kill though in the chaos of it all. High ground control now for Twisted Minds.
It's less than a minute. AlQadsiah have to play perfect from here on out if they want to close the series in their favor, but Twisted Minds, they want a marathon. They want to go to game 5.
There's a rush available for Landon, but this is looking like an OT. They can trade rushes here, but AlQadsiah are in a good spot. They can just TP, block the exit of KSA. The rush is now on the bots, as Quartz has already found one. A quick denial of Checkmate there, who tried to take an alternate angle with that teleport, and now it's Quartz's domain.
And this is game 5, 10 seconds left. Ziad has to save this. Kelix is dead.
The bot, I mean, is still moving. Someone's going to have to touch. In fact, they're not going to move it too far. Kelix has to be. It's a 4-man. Can they actually get to the bot? No, they can't. Twisted Minds in yet another map number 5 scenario. Need to win one more before they lock their placement in that grand finals. A map 5 team to be certain. AlQadsiah, they were just getting run around once again. These teleports from UB are just so strong. Shutting Lambda down with these right clicks as well. It's going back and forth. Quartz with insane overclocks, then Lambda, then Quartz. This had to go to a map number 5. It feels like it was pre-written.
Twisted Minds are such a momentum-based team, and this is the perfect game type for them. They full capped against Crazy Raccoon yesterday. This was their map pick. And they just started with 80 meters. And any fight that AlQadsiah won was not matched by a second or third one. They were always missing members whenever they truly needed to keep swimming. and they just drowned under the pressure of Cords that would take these solo flanks. It took Galax everything in him, and he just gets shoved to 6 feet underground. Cords, a true playmaker, saving that for Twisted Minds. Get triple digits against the two best teams that we have here is insane. We go to game 5 to decide who will go to that gold medal match.
Of course it was going to be a close series with AlQadsiah fans and Twisted Minds in the audience. Flags wielded by both sides. Peaking decibels as well as the echoes around the arena. You're going to hear this stuff from space, no matter who wins here. Twisted Minds and AlQadsiah going to a map 5. Guaranteed EMEA Korea finals awaits. Now Psycho and Jungbuck taken to the stage to decide where they want to go next and how the bands end up going to.
Not the coaching diff you would expect to see, although Psycho's not. Real coach, you need help deciding those maps. And Jungbuck has talked a lot about the impact that Checkmate has had, and just now that he's on a team with them, just his read on the game, how he's been able to kind of make those quick decisions on the Symmetra T-piece to turn it all around for AlQadsiah, but they simply got overwhelmed on Colosseo. But remember, it was back-to-back maps for AlQadsiah, from Atlas to an incredible Circuit Royale full hold from AlQadsiah that brought the series the distance, that had AlQadsiah in the lead up until now. Now it's AlQadsiah with the map choice coming up. It's all down to this, and they need to take all the time possible. New Junk City is something they've picked against GK.
Hybrid, the last map type available. Of course, we could go to something like King. Blizzard World has also been very popular, and I'm just seeing now, Blizzard World is the map pick for this final map.
Making sure our bans are locked in. AlQadsiah will ban the Symmetra. So you're forcing the Tracer mirror between UB and Checkmate, and Kiriko out for Twisted Minds.
That is such a big ban. That is big cojones on AlQadsiah right now. Banning this Symmetra in a map number 5. Labda, when he played the Tracer on Atlas the other day, it wasn't a world star performance. Definitely a weaker hero of his. So having AlQadsiah ban away the sim now, which is Twisted Minds have used to its full effect throughout the course of the tournament and even the stage as well, putting Checkmate onto a different hero. Something like the Mei wouldn't be too far flung either. I want to see how UB responds here for Twisted Minds as they start out on the defense.
As the Symmetra, big part of that Twisted Minds game plan when it came up to beating Crazy Raccoon in that game 5 that we covered yesterday, Jaws, and that was so close. He'll still have the Lucio to get around, but it won't be the Lucio Kiri. It has to be something else, and then the defense could offer double flex support. But again, the Tracer mirror, what everyone's been paying attention to, who is going to be the better Tracer between UB and Checkmate. This map is quite large, there's a lot of flank angles. How will UB take on that pressure? And you would say Checkmate has been overall more consistent on it.
I like this pivot. Okay, UB on the Mei instead. Quartz on the Cassidy, no Sojourn. I like the Cass as well. Sojourn, of course, very good at rather long range, mid to long range with those railguns. Cassidy a little bit more focused on that short to mid. It's a perfect point for it as well. If anybody tries to even TP onto the high ground, of course, you've got the combat roll, you've got the Hindenade, so you're very well suited to kind of holding this up height. And the range is going to be decent for you too. Anybody that peeks around those little corners onto the point is going to be in your line of sight for maximum damage. We'll see how Checkmate responds. Looks like a Tracer for now, which is, going to be tough into the Mei.
Yeah, UB, the Mei, I think it's fine on this first point. There's some nice tight alleyways to maximize on the Mei wall. Maybe you deny the Baptiste window with the wall temporarily, but I expect to swap later on because Checkmate will go unchecked without another Tracer, I would think.
Unchecked until he gets icicled in the head. He's trying for it. Ooh, he's testing UB. He wall it early. Wow, that's an early wall. We're scared to checkmate. Scared. I mean, Simple's really low too. I mean, the lamp could come out at any moment in time. I think he may have used it already. Checkmate going extremely low. I mean, he is doing a lot of work right now, making Twisted Mind scared. They have to make a decision at this point. They're going to go for this flank play as they see Landon potentially alone. Wall not available for UB right now, so he's just going to use his little legs to go up on the high ground, but they do trade rather poorly, in fact, to AlQadsiah, losing Landon and Labda really early on. Quartz now just trying not to die against Checkmate. Fancy footwork though, and right round the pillar. Gonna kill UB too. Wow, Checkmate is just demolishing at this first point. Although dealing with KSA is another beast entirely.
Checkmate is like almost one of the sole survivors, and like I said, he's gonna go unchecked, but with this death ball from Twisted Mind, it's gonna be hard for Checkmate to find these finishing blows unless they can cause enough chaos that Twisted Mind scatter, but they're distancing away so that they can try and just shred AlQadsiah before they get to the objective. This is such an open point that it's gonna be tough to sit on it without Twisted Mind trying to kill you.
Man, yeah, Checkmate was like benching 4 plates there, easy. I thought he was going to go for that pulse bomb as well onto Simple, but decides against it in the end. Oh, here comes the overclock from Labda. The wall is in his way currently, so decides to relocate to across the map. Going to make good use of this window on this high ground, but the sound barrier is just too good. Nice swing by KSA as well.
Yeah, Quartz being able to sit on this high ground is going to be a problem for AlQadsiah, and it's not like you have a dive. I don't know if Ziad would... I think this is too long range to employ a diva, so Ziad on the Orisa is just gonna try and tank it. You could always rotate top right. It's just such a whole maneuver just to get to the point. Now AlQadsiah have less than half their time bank. They don't have window. They'll just have barrier. That's the only thing that AlQadsiah can really depend on. Oh, Yubi's hiding with Blizzard.
Waiting for people to peek around this corner, but unfortunately for him, it's on the wrong side of things. Wall on the high ground, very defensive. Nicely placed as Simple's able to get away, but not for much longer. Checkmate had his number, postcode, everything, even his SSN as he chases him down. Okay, AlQadsiah, they're on the board. No full holds here.
I wonder if that UB Maywall kind of messed things up. I don't know if Twisted Minds were a little bit split up from that. Either way, AlQadsiah, they just need to barrier engage in and chase down Quartz. He was a little too cozy up on that perch. Costed a lot of time for AlQadsiah to get that done. Of course, you can leave Checkmate on the card to maximize progress. You're not going to have another Tracer to kind of deny that, so AlQadsiah could fight for the high ground, but Twisted Mind's going to decide to hold the low ground to maximize, of course, the value of the Maywall.
They got to go fast, though. This player's going to escape them. High noon separates the team. They have to go low, but there is an entrance through that miniature health pack. They're flipping the map now. Well, actually, you're kind of happy with this if you're AlQadsiah. You can push people away, potentially. They're actually just fighting in their own spawn. Simple in trouble, though. Ziad brings everybody together with that Terror Surge, as now Quartz. I mean, it's just so easy shooting that Orisa. No shot you're surviving that. He's hitting 100% headshot accuracy, that's no doubt. AlQadsiah deal with the map flip there as they end up pushing this payload further.
Yeah, I like that map flip from Twisted Minds because they were just trying to draw the fight into a good Blizzard, into a tight area for the May, but this is now a more open part of the map after they failed that, so you need the UB Tracer. Checkmate has been relentless. AlQadsiah on the high ground. They're looking for a good overclock opportunity from Labda.
High ground control is going to be good for the Ram team. Can't get pushed off, though. Oh, that's a good pick.
Oh!
Labda up on the pipe right now, and Simple's down. And this sound barrier, they need to get value from this. I don't think Labda's even going to allow them to do that. And by the way, payload's still moving. Checkmate this whole time has been there. Oh, blink smack double kill. That's a rare one. That's going in the highlight package. Checkmate with a couple. Twisted Minds, it's getting run around right now. Checkmate playing with his food.
This was the Tracer mirror we were all excited yet worried for, depending on what side of the field you are. Checkmate able to get so much progress. Because UB's been trying to shred tanks, go after supports, but not paying attention to what matters the most, the payload. Now AlQadsiah also getting back into the time bank, which is going to help out a lot. They missed out on that point. Now KSA with the annihilation. You got the window from Simple coming up, but Landon is up ahead with that. KSA just going to anchor the corner. They don't have to be aggressive here.
Checkmate looking for a pulse bomb angle. Oh, he spots Astro. It's a bad spot for the Lucio to be in. He's already used his boop as well. But that Sonic Blaster doing a lot of work to Checkmate's forehead there. Landon's already down though. And now Ziad trying to escape. Bad spot for the Orisa to be in, but without the heals anyway, there's not a large chance you survive.
So huge for Funny Astro to force the recall from Checkmate, kept him occupied.
Whoa, Yubi.
Shredding tanks.
Okay.
Yes, he's dead.
Okay, maybe try to get him for a really early poke spot, but now Checkmate is looking at the back line again. Little mini steal, Simple going super low, forcing the recall of Checkmate there, but I think the damage has really already been done. That window came out rather far forward. Yubi ends up using that pulse bomber, merely killing the lamp.
Checkmate is so quick, and he knows his pathing between the mini to get behind Twisted Minds. This card sees progress, and they see the end of the map, and this is a good time bank. Funny Astro needs this barrier quickly, or it's going to be too late, and Quartz has no space to operate around the overclock.
Where's the lamp? There it is. Terror Surge in the corner. Sound barrier for Funny Astro saves the day. Quartz has still got this overclock online. Fight, though, is done.
That was so important for Funny Astro to save the team, because Quartz just couldn't deliver on those big kills when he was getting pushed back into spawn. Still a few more fights left for AlQadsiah, still a breath in their lungs, and it's Labda versus Quartz, and Checkmate with the pulse bomb soon.
Oh, I like this. A very early push here from a Twisted Minds. Labda sniped out of the skies. Saved his ult, though. Still got one more chance as Quartz nails Landon in the head. There's a minute to go, and they're trying to find these staggers. Kellex he's pretty speedy, but he's getting chased right now by Yubi across the map.
AlQadsiah have to be careful. They're going to fall back to this corner and play off the Simple. Just even taking damage to get Simple's window is pretty key, but Landon's going to be up first. This could zone them to the back corner. Simple is on the high ground to try and avoid this darn Tracer, and Checkmate, he's hunting.
Labda's got to hit the railgun of the century here. Ends up sliding away and shooting KSA. The window's going to really help, though. Oh, Simple. Wrong place, wrong time. That 180 was sick. Yubi gets his face torn off as Labda shows them what they're made of. Overtime push now for AlQadsiah. They've got 15 seconds as Twisted Minds switch to Fast Heroes.
Going after the Kings, and Twisted Minds have to touch. It's the Burrow from Venture. The Yubi swap last second. KSA's on Zarya.
I like the Zarya pick here, just bubbling Yubi to keep him alive for as long as possible, but the bubbles are now down, expended. Same with the lamp. These lifelines no longer exist for Twisted Minds. The full cap, inevitable.
So difficult to cap this map. AlQadsiah back on their feet, back on their hands, and we're back into another round with Twisted Minds attacking. This has been Checkmate, who has been insane on this Tracer, getting behind, throwing the pulses, being babysat by Funny Astro, who's done a really good job at babysitting, but Labda, insane with the overclocks as well. Quartz doing his best to keep up, but it's the Yubi question mark, the Yubi that has to become the X factor for this team. They hope to win this map.
Oh, that shot was ridiculous. An OT cap. 0 seconds on the clock. But that last point can be devilishly hard to complete. And Aramco side swap. Same comp. Checkmate on Tracer.
AlQadsiah saved that sim ban for last on their map pick to force Twisted Minds to the edge on not their best comp, but one that they've still won with. Twisted Minds may have won the Saudi League Grand Final, but who will get to the top 2 at EWC?
No changes here. I mean, Yubi not on the Tracer. They're back on the Mei. I mean, the Zarya from KSA looks a little spicy. Probably going back to change now. Yeah, over to the Ram once more. So, game plan here. Don't all die to Checkmate challenge. And then wall at Ziad off and try and punish.
The Icicles from the Mei are solid here, but you really want to use this utility to its max effect, and Checkmate is going to get the attention of Twisted Minds and doesn't want to get isolated himself. Yubi if someone overextends from either of the lane near the point, this is where the Maywalk can be critical. Quartz gets the hunt down.
Beautiful play by Twisted Minds. Oh, Kellex is one as well. Early lamp deploy, and now Landon, you got to be careful. High ground control for Twisted Minds. Labda is 1 HP, sniped by Yubi. A headshot, but he didn't need it. What a fast push from TM. And this is what you need. You need the pace, you need the snowball with this May comp. Taking the high ground early is pivotal here.
Look at the impact that Yubi has had. He has the most amount of ult charge besides Simple. Getting to the high ground hat was a fun trick. KSA back on the Zarya. Has to be careful how he uses these bubbles for himself to hold the space. To maybe allow Quartz to survive if he's taken too much heat, but Twisted Minds getting through this choke. We'll try to do so with the Simple window. Could just be a zoning tool. There's lots of places to hide for AlQadsiah, but this anchor of the Orisa will squeeze by the May wall that was placed.
That's a good start. All right, window placed on the payload. Simple though. That's to 180. Checkmate's just kind of filling in with lead, forces the lamp. Oh, still gets the kill though. Ziad goes down fairly early, despite losing Quartz at the start of the fight. They're still fighting. They're still on an awkward spot of the map. KSA is alone on the point. Has got one bubble, can get back to the health pack. But Yubi is going to arrive with backup, so no chance really here to stop the payload.
He's going to play the low ground fight, but then Twisted Minds are just not going to be able to dictate this fight. It's AlQadsiah that will stand tall and above them, and Labda has the overclock. How many bubbles can you count out of KSA? That's the only thing that can save them.
Well, Yubi's already dead. Landon is playing so aggro, by the way. Just permanently on top of the tank. Oh, a little pulse. Okay, all good. Hit the wall.
This is Twisted Minds maybe over-believing in this Zarya because they're just not able to really have staying power on this cart with how much damage is raining from above from AlQadsiah.
Astro trying to taxi now up onto the high ground. They've left one on the flank. Here's the May right now. As Labda's got the overclock. Actually just falls down low. He has got a slide still, but looking for bodies. Or looking for heads even. Sound barrier from Funny Astro to keep them in the fight. However, a repeat sound barrier from Kellex here. Only gets 4 players as Checkmate's still on the wide flank.
Twisted Minds trying to draw the fight down low for this Blizzard to hit. And how about Quartz? Can he hit this shot? He's on the low ground looking for a better angle. And AlQadsiah, they're playing hide and go seek.
Oh, hits Landon, but that's it. 4 ults, 0 kills for either side as this pushed front line here from Ziad might be in a little bit of trouble. There's a Graviton surge, and it's behind a window as well, so good luck surviving that. That lamp's gonna get one-tapped. That is checkpoint already. It's 3 minutes on the clock. Kellex Labda down, Landon to follow. This is all AlQadsiah right now. I mean, they're just getting absolutely demolished. Twisted Minds just running at home.
Twisted Minds just using the cover really well, and the just getting good value out of the bubbles to live even while AlQadsiah were on the high ground, and then brought the fight and all the progress to the end where they could just dump all their ultimates, and they're gonna still stick to this Yubi May, but Checkmate is gonna match it, and he's gonna maybe throw this May wall behind KSA or on the opposite end behind Ziad. You gotta break this down quick, and Astro has the barrier. That's the extra sustain.
Bro is not Tracer, but still goes for the flank. Pops blocks super early, spots Quartz near the spawn, can't land the right clicks though. Escorted away by Kellex, who rejoins the rest of the fight. Walls on the front line, but the sound barrier still hits 5. And now the split fight is going to be disastrous for AlQadsiah. The Annihilationist still picks up KSA as Labda finds the off angle. Quartz not looking at him, but maybe you should. Maybe you always been looking at Labda. Funny Astro in the back line. An easy kill for the Sojourn. The hold will... He'll be here for now, but the time bank, still 3 minutes here for Twisted Minds.
And Ziad living there to deny progress while Labda frags, that was so key. No momentum generated from Twisted Minds, but they're back again and they have window.
Yeah, they're gonna win at the payload again for sure. Just waiting for this wall to go down first. It's an awful angle though, to be fair. But that window actually does tag the inside of the point, so they could wide swing, but yeah, Kellex, perfect response, using that sound barrier to keep space.
And then they could defend with the Landon window coming up. This is crucial time that is going to be taken away from Twisted Minds. And this is a great area for the Blizzard. There's so many options for AlQadsiah to layer this.
He had almost fell over there. That would have been the walls crumbling for AlQadsiah. And like you said, this Blizzard, Wall Blizzard, El Clasico. Landon almost gets one tap though by Quartz, but it is Labda all day, every day. Oh, there's the Blizzard, straight on top of checkmate. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, son. Yeah, it's not happening. Nice little piece onto checkmate. Means they're going to be able to get a nice little flank angle now, do force Ziad of this mega health pack. They're walling off the window, and Ziad tried to retreat to the rest of the team, but Kelix is already down. A block forced onto Yubi, but Ziad just turned to snow there with a minute and 45. And 2 ultimates in the bank, and support ultimates coming up. Twisted Minds are running at home.
ASA and everyone able to dig out Ziad from contesting the card. 90 seconds, and it's Quartz that needs to build space. The May Wall will protect AlQadsiah for now, but for how long?
They need to get this under a minute. That is imperative. Window on the point. Overclock through window. Who can stand up to this duress? Ziad taking infinite damage, walled off from the heels as they make their final march on the point. 13 seconds to go before that minute line can be reached, but Twisted Minds will not give it to them. A final attack. A chance for a draw and a 6th map. AlQadsiah need to be perfect, but Twisted Minds get it done with over a minute.
From AlQadsiah being on match point to Twisted Minds staying in their shadow up until this point. You thought the Tracer Mirror was going to go checkmate Sway somehow. We're in a snowstorm between 2 Mays, and it's still anyone's map to decide who will go to the grand finals to help their club and to get ahead in this rivalry that is extended across many leagues, with Twisted Minds getting the last grand final in the Saudi E-League, but AlQadsiah winning every single OWCS encounter.
Psycho elation on his face. 33% is all they need on that first. Not got a lot of time though. A minute and 8 seconds, that is one fight. These fights take a while. These May Ram Brawl comps, they're tough. They are tough to crack. If Quartz can land an opening pick on somebody with a railgun, like he's done over and over and over again, it could be an easy finals place. The gates are open. The final march for Twisted Minds.
Gotta be careful how Yubi uses his wall to try and get to the high ground and access someone like Labda, who's gonna be on the Sojourn. He'll be able to jump away if things get hectic. And checkmate has been using his walls defensively to deny the entry and the pathing from Twisted Minds. Now Quartz can watch from above.
Just needs that 100 rail energy. Spots a little bit, has got it. Sends one flying towards Landon. Scores a body shot, but has a good angle on checkmate. He needs attention right now. Yep, Kelix is going to spot him. Landon again, going aggro, trying to just chunk people out, using that battle rifle, but he's got to be more careful than that. KSA frozen in the front line, puts the arms up as overtime approaches.
Less than 30 seconds and no ults being really built up. It's Twisted Minds that are living in the heads and trying to take over the real estate of AlQadsiah.
No blocks, no lamp, you be in trouble. Kelix with a back smack. The assassination, the knife to the back. Kelix does end up getting traded though, as KSA very low on the point with no backup. Simple with a wide swing. And we are going to another map. Labda kills another. And AlQadsiah are going to defend. It's going to take a miracle from Quartz. He gets his one as Astro touches for the last time. A recall from Yubi, but it's all over. A map number 6. The TM versus AlQadsiah rivalry extends. An overtime ticks down, and a minute and 8 seconds is not enough to do it in.
Our first draw, our first map 6 of our mid-season championship. An all-Saudi showdown, and this goes for the gold medal match. With AlQadsiah, like I said, winning all the OWCS matchups, but Twisted Minds have been trading blow for blow. Twisted Minds now listening to the game plan. What will be the AlQadsiah map pick? We'll get it again.
Map pool is open as well, so we can go to anywhere. No Symmetra ban available either for AlQadsiah. A map number 6 with this historic rivalry going all the way. You couldn't write a better script, and I promise you we didn't. We're going to jump to a quick break, give the teams a couple of minutes to decide where we want to go for this final map. We'll see you in a sec.
Level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 Esports World Cup.
We wouldn't have it any other way. The crowd wouldn't have it any other way. The audience at home wouldn't either. We're going to a map 6. Make no mistake, that scoreline is accurate. First to 3 here as AlQadsiah and Twisted Minds. We're going to a Flashpoint, New Junk City. A hazard ban for Twisted Minds, a brig for AlQadsiah.
AlQadsiah did pick New Junk City against GK. Did not go their way. Very, very close though. 3-2 loss. But the main win and what inspired confidence from AlQadsiah was the win against Virtus.pro in that quarterfinal, 3-1. So AlQadsiah trying to either force the Diva or the Ramatra mirror once again. Even the Orisa is something they're comfortable with. And now AlQadsiah getting to ban that break first. Of course, you're not going to have as much support for any tracers that could come about, but mainly to keep the Lucio plus whatever secondary support you would typically have, which AlQadsiah is usually the Kiriko.
Lucio's available, Sims as well. So there's going to be a lot more Symmetra play yet again. That Symmetra ban on last map for AlQadsiah was honestly gigantic. Forced Yubi onto the Mei. Played a little Tracer as well, but Checkmate had his number on that. It's going to be a tough battle against Checkmate's Tracer. It's always been exceptional on it. That received about a 50-50 boo and applaud.
I don't think Twisted Minds have seen a New Junk City in this tournament. Not their most picked. So this is the AlQadsiah playground. Now the pressure in the crowd, but these are all experienced players that have been at the World Cup stage, the Saudi stage, the OWCS stage. This is where they thrive. In front of most of them, their home crowd. This is gonna be a banger, and guys, this is just the semi-final.
Yeah, we have Falcons versus T1 after this to lock in another grand final spot. Your mid-season championship. Here we go though, let's load on in. Map 6 of New Junk City, Twisted Minds taking on AlQadsiah.
Ooh, I did just notice, just going through the matches, last time the Twisted Minds faced AlQadsiah, obviously besides now, they got 3-0'd on New Junk City. Twisted Minds lost 3-0 the last time they went here, but there was a Symmetra ban employed, so that has a important caveat. Symmetra is free from her shackles. And again, the break to try and help support the Tracer will not be available, so this will be just a mirror of Sojourns and Symmetra's. Difference in supports. Just maybe the Juno, just for the speed, but we're a simple lane.
Doors unlocked. Let's make some noise, Riyadh. Twisted Minds and AlQadsiah going to a historic Game 6 in the semis. They roll out on the Simcoms yet again. They're different though from Ziad. Actually on the Diva versus KSA's Ram. Already taking a significant amount of damage. The teleport to the high ground. There's also now AlQadsiah out-rotating Twisted Minds for now, and there's the first blood. That kunai landing directly on KSA's head. And that should be a first flashpoint take from AlQadsiah.
It'll be a big clash of tanks, of how you manage those resources. The Matrix very limited, but a lot more flexible maybe than the block, but KSA just took too much damage too quickly. With the speed from AlQadsiah, just such an aggressive comp. They just reinvented how you play Symmetra. Just allowing Checkmate to charge up and farm KSA during that block is resulting in the first blood, and look how quick Landon has Kitsune Rush too. That's gonna come out very soon.
That's a lot of damage, a lot of healing being thrown out by Landon. AlQadsiah probably want to go first. They too have been trying to play as quick as possible. A bit harder with the Ram though, is you need to kind of wait, rotate the Nemesis form cooldowns. But right now, I mean, AlQadsiah, they're just gonna be able to just play around this high ground. They're gonna threaten to move on in, try and force a CD from TM. But they can play this a little slow.
Yeah, the hand needs to be forced out of Twisted Minds. AlQadsiah are fine sitting here till the cows come home. They're the ones in control. Twisted Minds gotta wake up.
DP gonna get forced. There's the teleport from Landon. And there's the rush matched by Simple. Despite the lead though, Landon had. They allowed enough time for Simple to build up to that. A touch required now by Twisted Minds. Another teleport up to the high ground, and Quartz caught off guard. Labda takes his down, and oh dearie me. That's 100-0 on first point. Only KSA remains here. And Simple as well, and there you go. First point, AlQadsiah.
Maybe Twisted Minds overthinking that fight a little too much, and we're just waiting for AlQadsiah to make the first move. I'm not realizing that, well, they don't even have to. The ball is in the Twisted Minds court, and it never even swung at it. Then the exchange Kitsune rushes to no avail, so AlQadsiah with the first point, with 4 other ults to spare and a second life for AG.AL on the self-destruct. Although Twisted Minds back on Lijiang Tower was so good at denying that second life.
Yeah, Labda using that overclock. He's got a really good angle as well on the backline. These can penetrate, of course, these shots. Yubi's already down, cowering in the corner, clutching his pearls, trying to get away. Labda finds a double kill. As once again, AlQadsiah, because of that ult advantage, they can just walk on up. Quartz had that ult maybe like midway through that fight, but it was over already.
A streak from Labda, he's on fire. He pulled the trigger first, and Twisted Minds find themselves having to retake again, and through these choke points, D.Va is such a bully at close range, and Zia can even extend. He's gonna be the one that can scout away, and Yubi's gonna try and teleport and get an angle on this point.
Labda's head showed for a brief moment there, but a defensive wall on the high ground, so Quartz has basically nothing to shoot at. Maybe just the mech of Ziyad there, tries to peek around it, but now a wall is going to push them forwards onto the point. Now the sound barriers can connect. Can AlQadsiah get a better beat though? Yes, they do. Ziyad and Labda saved at the brink of death, and that's another couple of kills. It's all falling apart for Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds, they're living on borrowed time, and the clock is ticking faster and faster.
The execution nearly flawless from AlQadsiah. Did they even drop anyone in that fight? Labda, he's so critical. He's accurate. And AlQadsiah get to defend and continue, maybe even 200-0. Twisted Minds have to hurry. It's Funny Astro that has to touch, and he's on the other side.
Whoa, this is an aggressive support angle, and they can't even get there. They don't even touch.
Disastrous, a miscomm between Funny Astro and where Yubi was teleporting. Whose job was it? The pressure is getting into them. Their minds are twisted.
They're gonna find this little skirmish, just quickly go for a reset. They're probably gonna try and stagger Ziyad, but Ziyad pistol whips Funny Astro. Okay, a quick reset is that's a 200-0 versus TM. Has the pressure got onto them? They come out with a historic victory versus Crazy Raccoon, not yesterday. And like, now AlQadsiah, they're just running away with this.
First fight is so important to set up your Sojourn on these power positions, and through Twisted Minds, they can't be this slow, but they're gonna play off the Kitsune rush. That's at least an advantage they can work with.
Good TP, but Labs on the high ground with this overclock, looking for bodies. Simple, already tagged. They've got this rush, like you said, but Simple's dead. Ziyad with the flank. Reset, reset, reset for Twisted Minds. They have to go again.
This would be the most Twisted Minds thing to make the ultimate comeback. They started out behind in this series. They started out behind on Lijiang Tower before they won that. To force a Game 6, Twisted Minds. They will not give up and not surrender.
There's double support. Oh. You just can't lose someone early if you're Twisted Minds. A TP behind, but high ground controlled by AlQadsiah. They've got a wall to sustain themselves through this amplified damage with the rush, but can they actually get onto the point and make it
for
stick?
The win? If AlQadsiah win this fight, it's over.
Nice Nemesis form, but the sound barriers are going to connect. Lab doesn't get the beat, unfortunately, for AlQadsiah. 5-man sound barrier for Twisted Minds. They've got this annihilation, they've got this ult on the point, but Yubi is already dead. That's the ad! What? He even gets a remake kill? Are you kidding? AlQadsiah, as the dust settles, only an echo remains of Twisted Minds as AlQadsiah take us to a map 6 and lock their place in the grand finals at the mid-season championships.
The new kid on the block of Ziyad tells Twisted Minds to sit in a sweep, the 3-0 sweep on New Junk City on their map pick. No junk bug crash out needed. This is a team that locked in and locked on to Twisted Minds, the rival for so many stages across all the leagues. AlQadsiah get to rejoice and step forward into the championship match.
A guaranteed EMEA versus Korea final. An unbelievable come up for AlQadsiah. Even the Korean teams were saying that they are slightly scared. This sim comp from EMEA, El Clásico, has reared its head again on an international level. They have what it takes to go all the way And if this is how far this series has gone, this finals, it's not going to be easy for T1 or Falcons.
They looked unbeatable until this moment. Twisted Minds will step down into the third place match for a chance at bronze against either T1 or Team Liquid or Team Falcons.
We're going to jump down to the stage. I believe Fancy has got an interview for us with the victors.